Green. You should have annotations, y'all.
I did.
Pick it against the client higher.
There we go.
All right, we ready?
Yep.
So I take it everyone's read the Parsha this week because we had shared in advance, right? All right, hallelujah. So, and we happen to know the Hebrew in advance too. Oh, okay. All right, so even though it's starting off with, we're going to work on it. All right, so this Parsha here is Naso, and we'll read it in English, and then we'll read it in Hebrew. That way, if you read in English, it may relax you guys to be ready to read it in the Hebrew. I just feel it. All right. So verse 21 says, and Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying, take also the sum of the sons of Gershon throughout the houses of their fathers by their families. Okay. All right. So first part, I mean, you hear this over and over again, right? So let me turn this on here, right? All right. So, nope, didn't catch. There we go. All right. So it says, Wadaber Yahuwah el Moshe lemor. Great. And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying, Moses saying, what did he say? Naso et Rosh, Bene Gershon, right? That's this port right here. Okay. Then Gam, Haim, La Beit, Abotam, Lemish Pekotam, right? Throughout the houses of the fathers by their families. All right. Maybe what I should do is in the future, put up what's going to be next week. We'll go over together. And then the following week, we all say at the same time. You got a question? Okay, go ahead.
I'm pretty sure that we started with that first word.
Naso?
And saw the letter up there, and then you probably just went straight to the oo sound. Then you go to the wa sound.
Okay.
So there's a lot of rules we're missing.
Oh, yeah. Well,
They would convert letters to know exactly that's supposed to be a consonant versus a vowel.
okay. Yeah, well, as soon as they start reading, it'll be greatly appreciated. We can go to that next level. All right. So, trespass. Tell me a little bit about what's the trespass?
Something done to give someone.
Something against somebody? Okay. Anyone else? You have any examples?
When you have an off with your brother or your sister, and you telling other people, but you're not telling them, so you trespassing against them.
Okay.
It could be like trespassing on land.
Okay.
Somewhere that you're supposed to be.
All right. Everyone agrees? Okay. No, absolutely not. No, they're not. They leave you hanging high and dry today. Absolutely not. All right. So, what does scripture mean trespass against Yahuwah? Okay, so we're going to read. So it says, I guess I can do it this way too, right? So it says, speak unto the children of Yasharallah Israel, when a man or a woman shall commit any sin that men commit to do a trespass against Yahuwah, and that person be guilty, then they shall confess their sin, which they have done, and he shall recompense his trespass with the principal thereof, and add unto it a fifth part thereof, and give it unto him against whom he has trespassed. But if the man have no kinsman to recompense of the trespass unto, let the trespass be recompensed unto Yahuwah, even to the priest, besides the ram and of the atonement, whereby an atonement shall be made for him, and every offering of all the chodesh, or the set apart thing, of the children of Yasharallah Israel, which they bring unto the priest, shall be his. And every man's Kodesh or set apart thing shall be his. Whatsoever any man gives the priest, it shall be his. Okay, so now, what does it mean trespass? That's the Hebrew word there is ma'al. Okay, to cover up. To act covertly, treacherously, to transgress, to trespass, sin, and okay.
Stab you in the back.
All right. A little bit different, right? So I know we got the Webster's dictionary, so we traditionally use, but from the scripture's point of view, they have a little bit different, a little harder, a little harsh, I would say, right? But anyway, since it's none of us, we can keep going. I just wanted to share what the definition was. That's all I wanted to do.
Doing things behind the back, saying things about them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe plotting to take them down, trying to steal their property,
Mm-hmm.
Breaking their trust.
reputation, everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Trespass.
Yeah.
That's a treasure.
Right. Mm-hmm. But I know. I mean,
you owe money for that.
you got to add a fifth to it. I know y'all think about that fifth of wine, that fifth of hen. Totally different. All right. All right. Just in case.
So you said the trespasses against Yahuwah is different from what we do each other?
Mm-mm. What you do to each other, you do to him. Okay. So 5:1 gets, we're going to start with this light example, and it gets better. All right. Saying, if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing and is a witness, whether he has seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. Okay. So what does that mean?
If I heard something, somebody called me to a witness stand,
Mhm.
and I wouldn't even directly witness to it, but I heard the details of the story.
Mhm.
Or I know some inside baseball on the story.
Mhm.
And I don't say anything about it, I'm as guilty as the person that did it.
All right. Anyone else? Anyone agrees? All right. All right. So going down to 4, it says, or if a soul swear pronouncing with his lips to do evil or to do good, whatsoever it be that a man shall pronounce with an oath, and it be hid from him, when he knows of it, then he shall be guilty in one of these. And it shall be when he shall be guilty in one of these things that he shall confess that he has sinned in that thing. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto Yahuwah for his sin, which he has sinned, a female from the flock, a lamb or a kid of the goats, for a sin offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his sin. All right. And so when you think about some of these things, we'll talk, in the future about, you're going to notice masculine, feminine stuff, because sometimes it says man, man, man all the time. Why do they do that? You want to take a really quick guess at this? So remember,
Well, it's always masculine most of the time.
right, like, in the men, and why is it just the men and not the women? I mean, women must be doing everything right.
No.
The men is doing everything wrong. Well, how do you know? I mean, if we read it from what it says here, it's saying it from the man, right? Does everyone see that, right?
Yeah.
So I'm getting at is anytime a man and a woman is mentioned in any of the Hebrew grammar, it stays in the masculine, right? So every time. So if it's just specifically talking about women, then it's going to be feminine. If it's talking about men, it's going to be masculine. If it's talking about man and woman, it stays in the masculine. Okay, is everyone with me so far? All right. All right, so I guess I can. Oh man, I don't learn something. All right. So if a soul commits a trespass and a sin through ignorance in the Kodesh or set apart thing of Yahuwah, then he shall bring his trespass unto Yahuwah, a ram without blemish out of the flocks, with your estimation by shekels of silver after the shekels of the sanctuary for a trespass offering. So later on we start talking about ignorance and sins and how that works. And we'll do a series on, what is ignorant sin. Everyone pretty much can say something I didn't know, and once I became aware of it, and I say, hey, I ask for forgiveness, right? There are some other things that's considered ignorance too, because some things we'll talk about. Mm-hmm.
Why is he so specific about type of lamb or goat?
Okay, so remember when we went over what each one means, remember we went over the definition of words. So when you look at the definition of words of the animal, you'll see why specific animals. Why specifically a ram? Why specifically a lamb? Why is a female? Why is it a goat? What's going on here? So I think we went over that a little bit. I think they, it's fine. I don't think they remember. Yeah.
I remember you going over it.
Oh, yeah.
I remember all the details.
Yeah. Long time ago. Huh? Long time. Oh, yeah. All right. So you remember we read this, right? Everyone remember this? Right? I'm going to read the first part, but this is where it says, speak unto the children of Israel, when a man or a woman shall commit any sin that men commit. What does that mean? That men commit, right? To do trespass against Yahuwah, and that person be guilty. And we read all this before. So this is King James translation, right? All right. So I give you the ESV's version. It says, speaking to the people of Yashral Israel, when a man or a woman commits any sin of what? That the people commit by breaking faith with Yahuwah, and that person realizes his guilt, he shall confess his sin that he has committed, and he shall make full restitution for his own wrong, adding a fifth to it and giving it to him to whom he did the wrong. But if the man has no next of kin to whom restitution may be made for the wrong, the restitution wrong shall go to Yahuwah for the priest. Because remember, the priest was acting on behalf of Yahuwah, right? Remember, the priest is the spokesperson, right, for Yahuwah. In addition to the ram of atonement, which an atonement is made for him, and every contribution, all the Kodesh set apart donations of the people of Israel, which they bring to the priest shall be his. Each one shall keep his Kodesh donation. Whatsoever anyone gives to the priest shall be his. Okay?
So you're saying, even if the person's dead,
Of course.
I gotta still, I'm saying, man, I did that wrong.
Yeah.
He's gone, dead and gone now, but I gotta find his next of kin and make it right, man. How many people doing that?
Well, they're just reading about it today.
Oh,
But I mean, again, as you go, you start to see, say, man, I did do them wrong. Let me go ahead and do this. Some may look at it as, now that I learned of it, from this day forward, I will start to do that. All that took last year, a year and 10, 15 years ago. Hey, I didn't read this, right?
you might have read it, you just didn't understand it.
Well, they ignorance.
Oh,
Yeah,
See that? Ignorance works really good around here. All right. I didn't know.
You got me now. You know what I'm saying?
It got me once. All right, so remember to talk about the spirit of jealousy in man, right? Here's the word for jealousy, right? Is what? Kin'ah, right? And it's really translated really as jealous or envy, right? The etymology of this really means made to be provoked. Okay, so if he's provoked, he gets this way. Has anyone been in the crossfires of a man that was jealous?
Mm-hmm.
Women? Yes. Were they pretty nice? Were they okay with it?
Mm-hmm.
No, low. They say, "I'm sorry, Bevasha, please." No, none of that good stuff. Okay, just thought y'all might have had somebody. Okay, all right. All right, so since you didn't, we're gonna look at a couple of things, all right? Proverbs initially 27:4 says, wrath is cruel and anger is outrageous, but who is able to stand before envy? Okay, who can stand before that? Some have wrath and they want to act a little beside themselves. No worries. Mishnah Proverbs 6:34 says, "For jealousy is the rage of a man." Okay, so therefore he will not spare in the day of his vengeance. Now you know that if jealousy is the rage of the man, can someone give me some examples of what that would look like?
Oh, yeah.
Anger.
I see you with my lady. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Oh, so someone takes a look at your woman
You know what I'm saying?
in a way that you look at her.
Oh, no, I ain't see you. Look,
Oh, okay.
you know what I'm saying?
Touch not my anointed.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
It's gonna be some flower bringing and slow singing.
Oh, okay.
Somebody going to jail.
All right. So jail, graveyard, things are not happening, right?
Right.
All right. So everyone sees how this works, right? He's gonna do this right now. I'll tell you about what happened at the end. This is what's gonna happen immediately. All right. No questions asked. All right.
The jealousy can change a person meaner.
Uh-huh. So the demeanor can change.
Yeah.
Okay. No problem. Let me see. 14:30. A sound heart is the life of the flesh, but envy or jealousy, the rottenness of the bones. Okay. So somehow we got to get control of jealousy, right? Because if not, it won't do you no justice. It may do you some justice
At the end.
initially, right? Meaning
Right now.
you feel good, you feel justified. He's bleeding everything or whatever's happening in jail. Thank you. You okay now? Okay. Now you want to talk later, right? All right.
But if you don't get that thing out, it can.
It'll tear you apart.
Overtake
It
you.
can overtake everything that you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But we're going to see a little bit more of this at the end. I just want to intro this, and then we're going to go into some other stuff, and we're going to close out with some things that are in us. All right. 15:18 says, a wrathful man stirs up strife, but he that is slow to anger appeases strife. Okay. So know who you're getting involved with. If he's really fast with wrath, that might not be the one for you. Well, unless you like wrath. Let me back up. my bad.
We love you though. See.
Yeah. So some of them get in that part where, as soon as my eye open up, he loves me. He's gonna take me out. But the point is, understand that if it instantly gets to this stage before anything else, you might want to think about who you're with. No, the father's jealousy is not the same as man's jealousy, even though we try to mirror that, meaning he has so much patience with his jealousy. But he'll tell you, I'm a jealous L, visiting the crookedness, right? But he has the patience to see how far you're willing to do this. And if you turn, then he's willing to turn with you. But if you go all the way out, this okay, kill them all. You just start doing, next thing you know, you got the priest, which we'll get to. Priest is running everywhere trying to do an atonement for everybody. Everyone's dying. They're trying to figure out, Father. He's all right. I told you I'm not playing with you. But he had like 40 years to work with them, and he kept working with them, but he was still jealous, right? So y'all remember that we'll talk about that as progression of the Parsha. Yep, one day. Proverbs 29:22. An angry man stirs up strife, and a fierce man bounds in. Okay, so what does that mean?
I'm plotting to get you.
Okay, right. You did this to me. I'm going to do it to you. Mm-hmm. Even if it was a mistake. If it was a mistake.
The anger man can have so much strife in him, he can get the next person come with him and have that same feeling against that person.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah, as I say, jealousy, envy, strife, anger, all that stuff, if you can't contain it, just understand the outcome is going to be bad. It's not going to be good. And it's always after you do it, you start thinking about what you could have done. I should have done it this way, right? But again, we'll see about how that works later. Job 13:13 says, hold your peace. Okay? Let me alone. You hear people say, listen, I need to be alone for a minute. Right? Give me some time. That I may speak and let come on me what will. Okay? So someone that desires to, think rationally, they might slow this thing down. But some people that like to dwell in it, this won't even be good to let be what will. Because why? If you haven't dealt with it, it starts marinating in your head. It starts to get worse. Right? So it works both ways. All right. Doing good so far. But since we're talking about the spirit of jealousy in a man, let's see what happens here. So then you spoke unto Moshe Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel or Israel, and say unto them, if any man's wife or he shall go aside and commit a trespass against him, and a man lie with her carnally, and it be hid from the eyes of her husband or her yeesh, and be kept closed, and she be defiled, and there be no witness against her, neither she be taken with the manner, and the spirit of jealousy comes upon him, and he be jealous of his Isha, his wife, and she be defiled, or if the spirit of jealousy comes upon him, and he be jealous of his Isha, his wife, and she be not defiled, then shall the man bring his Isha, his wife, unto the priest, and he shall bring her offering for her, the 10th part of an ephah of barley meal. He shall pour no oil upon it, nor put frankincense thereon, for it is an offering of jealousy, an offering of memorial, bringing iniquity to remembrance. I don't recall if I really did that. Okay, well, if you don't recall, meaning if the woman says, hey, I'm not sure if I did that, then there's a process. Yeah, I might have been drunk. Yes, I might have had some alcohol, or, I woke up and I'm not sure, got a text message, thank you for a great day. Don't know what this means. What did I do? Right? All right. So she may not remember. So there's an offering more brings to her. We need to get this in her brain. We need to see where she's at.
Okay? But did somebody slip something in her drink?
Hey, what was she doing there in the first place like that?
No, she can be.
Where?
That happened.
I don't know where this place could be.
You could be at a bar.
No, what you doing at the bar?
I'm just thinking about, where people go. They may go pick something up, get something out, and
we talking about specifically. So you saying, listen.
people that do some dirty things.
That's what we're talking about right here.
I know that's what you're talking about. But I'm just saying, she can go in and get her something to drink, and somebody may just slip something in her drink.
Meaning she can go to Walmart, she can go to Target, she can go to an open place, but she chooses this bar late at night.
It don't have to be that
or in the
late.
evening. It ain't gonna be in the daytime. It's happy hour, right?
Yeah, it probably is happy hour.
Okay, happy hour, and she's there.
I'm
Huh?
trying to make up a plan.
You want to make one up? Okay, well.
No, what I'm saying, for example, I'm just saying as an example.
Right, but they shouldn't be there.
They should
That's
not
the point.
be there, but they do be there.
So that's why she would want to forget. And they're going to bring this thing back to her memory. Why? Because what? He has the spirit of jealousy. I want you to remember. I don't ever want you to forget what you did. Right, got it. All right, so just keep that in mind. All right, so again, carnally, right? Carnally. It's shakaba, which means to lie down, sexual act, right? No, carnally, and then copulation, lay seed. Okay. All right. Just in case we don't know what that word meant, I just want to get the definition out there to everybody. I don't ever want you to say he didn't share. No, it didn't happen like that. All right. So we keep going. It says, and the priest shall bring her near and set her before Yahuwah. And the priest shall take a kodesh water, set apart water in an earthen vessel, and of the dust that is in the floor of the tabernacle, that the priest shall take and put it into the water. The priest shall set the woman before Yahuwah and uncover the woman's head and put the offering of memorial in her hands, which is the jealousy offering, and the priest shall have in his hand the bitter water that causes the curse. Why uncover her head?
She's covered by her husband.
She
Right.
has no covering.
She has.
So he's jealous. He believes someone went into his covering.
So he's no longer her covering.
So
she's not
uncover her head, make her bare. Father, I want you to show me.
Okay.
Okay? All right. 19 says, and the priest shall charge her by an oath and say unto the woman, if no man have lain with you, and if you have not gone aside to uncleanness with another instead of your ish, your husband, be you free from this bitter water that causes the curse. But if you have gone aside to another instead of your ish, and if you be defiled, and some man have lain with you besides your ish, then the priest shall charge the woman with an oath of cursing, and the priest shall say unto the woman, Yahuwah make you a curse, an oath among your people, when Yahuwah does make your thigh to rot and your belly to swell. And this water that causes the curse shall go into you, your bowels, to make your belly to swell and your thigh to rot. And the woman shall say,
So be it, so be it.
all right. So, definition of Amin or Aman, right? So you're basically stating what? You're in agreement, right? You trust it? Sure. Let's get this thing going. Bring it,
Bring it on.
right? But if you know you did, I wouldn't be saying, I mean, you know, can we talk? Can I get that fifth? All right. So just keep that in mind, because if not, what's going to happen? Belly is going to swell.
What kind of water was that?
Huh?
What kind of water was that?
Well, you remember, it's going to be mixed.
Bitter water.
It's a bitter water, and it's mixed, especially with the dust off the threshing floor of the tabernacle. It's going to have some stuff in there. Okay, so just keep that in mind.
How long did this process take? How long did it take?
Oh, as soon as she drop, when she get finished, if she's good, she's good. But if she's not, you know what's going to happen, right? All right. So it says, verse 23.
So this
I'm
happened
telling you what's
immediately.
gonna happen.
The judgment happened quickly.
Yeah. He's gonna be right there. He's gonna be right there waiting. Let me see. I don't want to see. Right? This is what the priest says. And the priest shall write these curses in a book. Now keep this in mind. What is he gonna do? He's gonna write it in a book, and he shall blot them out with the bitter water. So I'm gonna write it in a book, blot out with the water, and he shall cause the woman to drink the bitter water that causes the curse, and the water that causes the curse shall enter into her and become bitter. Then the priest shall take the jealousy offering out of the woman's hand and shall wave the offering before Yahuwah and offer it upon the altar. Whew! Then you go on Father's altar, it's on. Okay? And the priest shall take a handful of the offering, even the memorial thereof, and burn it upon the altar, and afterwards shall cause the woman to drink the water. And when he has made her to drink the water, then it shall come to pass that if she be defiled and have done trespass against her ish, her husband, that the water that causes the curse shall enter into her and become bitter, and her belly shall swell, and her thigh shall rot, and the woman shall be a curse among her people. Okay, so mind you, normally what will happen is if she committed adultery, both would die, right? You bring both of them to the father's, or get some stones, and they're gonna have some headaches, and ultimately they're gonna go to sleep. However, if he's nowhere in sight, he has the jealousy of his Isha, brings her. She's gonna be the example in the camp. Okay. She's gonna still be in there, but she's gonna be the example in the camp.
You can't ask for a divorce, right?
Oh, that's it.
Oh, she
Yeah, that's a wrap.
That's
She's just going to be the example in the camp, but he's free. He's good to go.
if
Oh,
she's
Right, if
guilty.
she's right, she's
If
guilty.
she's guilty.
Right,
Because there's something else if she's not guilty.
right. She'll be good to go. She can have kids. Right? So it says, and if a woman be not defiled, but be clean, then she shall be free and shall conceive seed. This is the law of jealousy. When a Isha or wife goes aside to another instead of her Isha husband and be defiled, or when the spirit of jealousy comes upon him and he be jealous over his Isha, his wife, and shall set the woman before Yahuwah, and the priest shall execute upon her all this law. Okay, how are we doing so far?
Okay, question.
Okay.
So when she, what does the man do when he find out that it's not true?
Is that she's innocent, but he
She's
already has
innocent,
this
but
guilty
what does
rage in him.
he?
Jealousy.
He got a, oh, I'm so sorry, boo. Let's head on down to Olive Garden. Let's get something to eat. But no, reality would probably be is obviously he would need to apologize.
Right.
And I'm sorry, if it were the priest could further go, I mean, this is pure speculation at this point, but it'd be like, let's talk. Like, why did you even get to this point? What made you think this way? What did I do to cause you to have this?
Right.
Yeah, well, if that was it, I was just trying to tell Charlie, come see my Ish. Hmm? When your thighs right starts to wither away, your thigh literally starts to wither away. Your thigh starts to get really thin, and so much so that there's a limp that comes with it. Mm-hmm. All right, so we're good.
Low leg, big stomach.
The muscles.
Oh yeah, they lose all kinds of good stuff. Nazarite vow. You all read about the Nazarite vow?
Yeah, I still need clarification.
Okay, what you need to understand.
Everything.
Mhm.
31, what's 31?
He said, then shall the man be guiltless
Yeah, he's
of
good.
iniquity,
Yeah, he's good to go.
and his woman shall bear, and this woman shall bear her iniquity.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He'll go right back to as though nothing happened. Now you can imagine some sisters think like, I can't believe this joker done put me through all of this.
Right.
Come
That's
on
what I was
now.
about to say.
Come on.
So she's still gonna be embarrassed because her husband felt that way about her.
But this is a community thing. This is a normal thing,
I know.
right? So she shouldn't be embarrassed. Technically, if she did it, if she didn't do it, technically he might feel a little bit embarrassed. Like, wow, she's not like that, and I did this. So because everybody like, oh girl, I knew you didn't whatever it is. And do like, man, what is wrong with you?
Well, how do you think their relationship is gonna be? It's not gonna be the same.
As long as they keep in Torah,
That's right.
they're in good standing. Hey, boo, I need some dinner.
right.
So I got something for you. All right. Yeah, he said, man, let you know he over there choking. You okay? It might be the bitter herb. You never know what that might be. You okay, sir? Thank you.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
gonna be the conversation on the Facebook.
Oh yeah, you got some words to talk to her about. You got some things to ask her.
But that's gonna be like a healing process for the female too.
I'm sure.
Because
Mhm.
that would be a healing
Much
process.
counseling.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's gonna be fine. That's a guarantee.
You're gonna be fine.
Yeah,
It's
he's
not
gonna be
gonna
good.
be the same.
She's gonna have an issue,
Yeah, she's gonna
right?
be not
Mhm.
gonna be the same.
But he's gonna be great. He's like, thank you, shalom. What's the problem? Yeah, that's how he'll come out, right? But if she did do
It's
wrong,
not gonna be like that. Well, we're not talking about the,
right?
Yeah.
But if she did do wrong,
we already know about the
Man.
that
Wrong
part.
thing.
he gonna like, man, let me close my dusty door on you. Huh?
The problem was, how did he get to that point, like you said?
Mhm.
Something provoked him
To get there.
to get there. He might have been asking you questions, and you've been evasive and trying to be coy about it. And he's just watching body language from afar and he's looking at different things that you're doing. And that's what causes the jealousy to come up.
Mhm.
Because it's not just him just coming in the house one day, I'm just jealous.
Right.
No, he was provoked to that point.
Right.
He's
Mhm.
watching you
That's a
interact
slow
with other
process.
people.
Mhm.
And then he's like, so he asks you about this and you say, oh, nothing. Oh, he's just a friend. Oh, no, he just always does this. And oh, he buys me
He
lunch
keeps,
all the time.
yeah, he gives me a gift all the time.
well, the car broke down.
It's a friendship
He
gift.
took me to the repair shop. Well, I didn't know the car broke down. He took me to the repair shop.
For free? No.
We went out to dinner afterwards. It was nothing, no big deal. No big deal. This joker come up, tell me around. He's smiling in my face. Thought it's cheesy.
Shalom.
Yeah.
Shalom, my king. How you doing?
So that's what I'm saying. It becomes it's provoked to that point. It just doesn't just.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also it can be caught where it is, let's just say nothing happened. Let's just say had this not been caught early enough
Right.
that, she could have actually been preserved.
Right.
You know what I mean? So again, the setting up of this is hopefully to prevent something from happening. But yeah, unless you got a crazy guy, so that's one scenario. The other side is you don't know who you got, right? So the guy might come in and he could be doing something wrong, right? And then thinking you're doing something wrong,
Right.
and then thereby putting that on you.
Right.
So that's the other part that they're missing. So that's what I'm saying. There's still levels to this. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if the man commits adultery, and the way a man commits adultery is which way?
It's just sleep with another.
See, so that's what I'm saying. In other words, there's a difference between a man having intercourse with a woman that's single versus a man sleeping with another man's wife. Right.
That's what adultery.
Oh yeah. He's not gonna make it to that city of refuge. It's not gonna work. He's gonna catch that guy. So, but yeah, because that's normally what would happen. But normally, if he's sleeping with other man's wife, be prepared. Because the Father will be on him. All right. So Nazarite vow. Anyone's familiar with the Nazarite vow? Okay. All right. So we're gonna go over it, and then there are some things I want to parallel about this towards the end. But it says, and Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe and Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them, when either a man or a woman shall separate themselves to vow a vow of a Nazarite to separate themselves unto Yahuwah. So who can do it? Man or woman, right? Then it says, he shall separate himself from wine and strong drink, and shall drink no vinegar or wine or vinegar or strong drink. Neither shall he drink any liquor of grapes, nor eat moist grapes or dried, like raisins and things like that, right? All the days of his separation shall he eat nothing that is made of the vine tree from the kernels, even to the husk. Now, remember I told you, so I start going into the he's and things. Why? All right, great. And all the days of the vows of the separation there shall no razor upon his head until the days be fulfilled in which he separates himself unto Yahuwah. He shall be Kodesh, or set apart, and shall let the locks of the hair of his head grow. All the days that he separates himself unto Yahuwah, he shall come at no dead body. He shall not make himself unclean for his father, or for his mother, for his brother, or for his sister, when they die, because the consecration of his Elohim is upon his head. Okay, so parents die, siblings die, nothing you can do about that. All the days of his separation, he is Kodesh unto Yahuwah, so he set apart to Yahuwah. And if any man die very suddenly by him, man, that's something to see. He's walking, boom. Oh my goodness. All right. And he has defiled the head of his consecration, then he shall shave his head in the day of his cleansing. On the 7th day shall he shave it. And on the 8th day he shall bring 2 turtle or 2 young pigeons to the priest. It is not turtle. Okay, great. This is case. Look at these 2 turtles, these 2 boxers, these snappers. There you go, Father. All right. And the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering, and make an atonement for him, for that he sinned by the dead, and shall set apart his head that same day. And he shall consecrate unto Yahuwah the days of his separation, and he shall bring a lamb of the first year for a trespass offering, but the days that were before shall be lost, because his separation was defiled. And this is the law of the Nazarite: when the day of his separation are fulfilled, he shall be brought unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. Okay, so why would someone want to do a Nazarite vow? You go, we know it means to set yourself apart, but why?
Maybe something you want special from the Father, you're asking for something that you're dealing with spiritually that you want to kind of get cleansed of.
It's not a temporary thing.
Yeah,
It's eternal.
It could be a week, it could be a year, all of it, be a lifetime if you want to.
Okay.
It can be set apart like that?
But some people didn't have a choice in that.
Because
Yeah.
Once it was done, it was done for life.
Shimshon was, he
But
was
you-
Nazarite for life. He was supposed to be Nazarite for life. He was born up until that point. And even Yochanan and Mercer was in a way of Nazarite, because he hit that with strong drink of wine.
So you have two things. You have one is, if the Father tells you to do something, that is it.
Right.
Then there's a part where you can choose to be, and we'll see why in just a minute. Okay.
Someone was asking, turn on the us refer to not eating bread.
No. No, not the bread. Meaning the stuff that's dealing with chametz. Dealing with not specifically bread, but the leavening of it, if you will. So technically, if you want some unleavened bread, you're good to go. But Seor is a whole different story. All right, so compare the two types of people. Okay, so he shall separate himself from wine, strong drink, and shall drink no vinegar or wine, right? Or vinegar, strong drink, neither shall he drink. Now, question is, who else is given this same command? All right, great.
Shemuel was one. The
Priest.
Right.
Right? Do not drink wine nor strong drink, you nor your sons with you, when you go into the tabernacle of the congregation, lest you die. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generation. Okay, so we're going.
But wasn't that after when
death?
Aaron's sons
Right.
made a strange fire
Mhm.
that caused that to become a law?
Well, no, you always want to go in there in your right mind. You don't ever want to go in the Father's presence in a half-baked mindset. And that's why when we did the series, How Should We Pray? A lot of times we get very loose and lazy with our prayers. Some of us lay in our bed, oh, I'm tired. Father, I love you so much. Please just bless me. Love you, Father. Look forward to seeing you in the morning. Right? I had a long day, Father. So, you start making him common. You don't make him set apart. He's not something special to you. He becomes something different. But anyway, got it. Next one is, all the days that he separates himself unto you, he shall come, and not to a dead body. He shall not make himself unclean for the father, for the mother, for the brother, sister, when he dies. Secrete himself to Elohim, right? Same thing here. It says, and it shall be the high priest among his brethren, upon who his head anointing oil was poured, and that's consecrated to put on the garments, shall not uncover his head, nor rend his clothes, neither shall he go into any dead body, nor defile himself for his father or for his mother. Okay? Next one is, he shall not make himself unclean for his father, his mother, his brother, right? But the part we're doing last now is what? He is, okay? He's consecrated netzer, right? A nazir, realistically, of his Elohim upon his head. Okay? So, same thing. You see, neither shall he go out of the sanctuary, nor profane the sanctuary of his Elohim, for the crown, the nazir, okay, of the anointing oil is upon his Elohim, upon him, I am Yahuwah. Okay, so you see the parallels between a Nazarite and a priest, or even a high priest. Okay, all the days of separation, he is what? Okay, he's set apart unto Yahuwah. And They shall not take a wife nor a whore. This is the Levites. He shall not take a wife of a whore or profane, neither shall they take a woman put away from her husband, for he is. Okay. All right. So, what is a Nazir? What is that? Right? He or she is someone that dedicates themselves to Yahuwah. What is interesting is comparing what that person to a priest or a high priest, we can see Yahuwah is allowing a form of a firstborn or a priest to be among the people. Okay, so what is the person really saying to Yahuwah? So in other words, we know why he chose the Levites. Remember, we went over that, right? Because what happened at the bottom of the mountain. So they became the firstborn. So instead of firstborn, I'm taking the Levites, right? But he gave a way to where those that now say, you know, I could have made a mistake, and I want to have that relationship with the Father like the priests. So he's given them an opportunity to do this. But I want to be like a priest unto you, dedicating my life to you, meaning they're dedicating their life to Yahuwah, right? So what the reality of it is, it's like having a priest, if you will, among your people. You know what I mean? Now you're having this life in the camp, if you will. Okay? So I'm going to look at this really fast. Now, this is a future picture in order of the Luim or the Levites. So I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but if so, we'll see. So the word for Levite. So first we'll read it. It says in Numbers 3:45 says, take the Luim or the Levites instead of the firstborn among the children of Israel, and the cattle of the Luim instead of the cattle, and the Luim shall be mine. I am Yahuwah, right? So the word there for Levite means, it's from this word. This is the root of it. Okay. And it means cleave, to join, to abide, to unite. That's what Levite, the word Levi means. Okay, is everyone with me so far? Example is also the son of the stranger that, okay, that we read today. So again, that's what the Levite's name means, the definition of its name. All right, so next son after that one says, and take, or Naso, if you will, the sum of the who is this? Kahath, as we would say, Kohath. Most of the Kohath, right?
Oh, the high priest.
Right. Well, not high priest. Remember this family did something wrong.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Right. But see, you don't see it in the Hebrew, right? So literally, it's what? Kahath, right? From among the sons of the Levites, right? So this is the firstborn, I guess, if you will, of the Levites. And what did his mean? Kohath. What does his name mean? Okay, to be an ally, or ally oneself. Cognate root of this word is the word for called out, kohelet, kahal in the root, kahal. Anyone know what kahal means? That's where you get the word called out. So it's translated into the Greek as church, right? Kahal, to be called out, or an assembly. All right, so you have join, you have allied or call out or an assembly. Okay, so the first two names we see is joining by allying oneself or being called out to assemble, right? Let's look at the next one. It says, which is the part of our name of the Parsha here. But anyway, Naso, also the sum of the sons of who? Gershon, right? Throughout the houses of their fathers by their name. So what does his name mean, right? It's where here, Garash. And it means what? Okay. Okay. To
put away.
Okay. To thrust out. All right. So these are just some of the ones. This word here, Garash, if you really want to get into linguistics, this is where we get the word grass from in English. But anyway, the parent root is gar or ger. What's a ger? Stranger.
Oh,
Remember ger? Okay.
a stranger.
Yeah, you said the Hebrew word for stranger is ger. Okay, the parent root right here. All right, so someone that is divorced becomes a stranger to that individual, meaning the things they used to do would be strange to do on an intimate level, right? So remember Israel, well, so when Israel, the northern tribe became Garash, they also became a ger due to their actions, right? So he winds up in Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 8. He says the northern tribe gives them a divorce, right? What I want you to see so far with this here is only that by this name, Gershom, they say the King James has refugee, that now something's going to happen. So first you'll see the joining and the gathering as assembly. Then you start to see something else is about to take place. So that's what I'm saying. It's a future prophecy or something, right? Next son is Marie, right? You shall number them, and this name means bitter. Okay. So when you put the heads together of the Levites, we see a joining to Yahuwah, allying themselves to Yahuwah, being his called out ones. Later, what happens is,
Cast out from him.
okay, and then which causes bitterness. Okay, so when this happens, this is in chapter 4, right? Chapter 5 brings in the Nazarite vow, right? So when he brings in the Nazarite vow, so after the casting away and the bitterness, the next chapter goes into the Nazir, the Nazarite, those that chooses to be dedicated or consecrated to Yahuwah. They will give full devotion to Yahuwah. So think about one of the things that a Nazir must do that is also found agriculturally, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. But again, so you're seeing a pattern of what's happening. Mind you, you get to Micah, start talking about what happened to the priesthood and stuff like that. Everyone familiar with the story? All right. So again, so now there has to be a joining again. There has to be a rededication, if you will, that has to take place in the future. All right. So the first person that was a Nazir is whom? First one that pictures of a Nazir.
Moses.
No, they were married.
Samson.
Who?
Samson? All right, and remember, future picture of one, and we're saying
Future, that would be the Mashiach.
no. This is just from the initials. I'm just sharing with you the names of it. But for right now, I'm saying a picture of a Nazir is whom? A picture. Now, if Samson is one, then is he a picture of one, or is he actually? He is one.
Abraham.
Okay, so who's a picture of a Nazir? All right. Joseph.
Oh, that's right.
Joseph is. How do we know?
Because everything.
Oh, yeah.
If you remember the story, he was joined with his brothers. Then a separation, bitterness set in. He was cast out or driven out from his brothers. At the end, he was rejoined and dedicated from Yahuwah, right?
Right.
So let's look at it. This is the Bereshit 49:26. The blessings of your father have prevailed above the blessings of my progenitors unto the utmost bounds of the everlasting hills. They shall be on the heads of Joseph and on the crown of his head. Him that what?
Separated.
Nazir from his brother. Okay. All right. Now, remember I told you about agriculturally, right? So you think about it, and this is during the time of the, leading to the Jubilees, the sabbaticals, and things like that, right? Anyway, it says that which grows of its own, accord of your harvest, you shall not reap. Neither gather the grapes of your vine undressed, for it is a year of rest unto the land. Okay, so see the picture of the Nazir. His or her hair is to grow, no gathering of the grapes, if you will, for a length of time. Okay, so and if I really going to go into some agricultural terms, but we wouldn't have enough time to do that. But anyway, so this is this portion here. Is everyone good so far?
Okay.
All right. All right, so here we go. Ruach, or spirit. Give me some examples. Or what do you guys know of not the Father's Ruach? We all can probably talk for days about the Father's Ruach, right? But a Ruach, right? Definition of the word Ruach has what? Resemblance of breath. What else we have out here?
Answer, believe,
Okay.
double meaning, no, bridge.
Okay, blast breath, mind,
Courage.
anger. What else you have?
Vain.
Hmm?
Vain.
Vain. We're going to see those today. Vain specifically, we're going to talk about today, because these are going to be things that are going to be within you, right? So I'm just saying, for example, there's a spirit that's in you, there's a Ruach in you, and then there's the Father's Ruach. I want us to think that those things are the same, right? There are things that the Father has given you from being born, if you will, to something that you would get when you decide to be a part of Him. Okay, not the same.
Quick to understand. Quick to understand.
Oh yeah, very quick to help you understand. It's a mind, right? We're going to see a little bit more from a simple perspective, I guess, first. But 2 Kings 17:15 says, and they rejected his statutes and his covenant that he made with their fathers, and his testimonies which he testified against them, and they followed what? Okay. Vanity, right? The word there is habal. We're going to see how habal and how ruach work together. Okay. But anyway, which also means worthless or empty. And they became vain, worthless or empty, and went after the heathen or the Gentiles that were around about them, concerning whom Yahuwah has charged them that they should not do like them. Okay. So again, the word you see is vain, and you're going to see the word there is habel, right? Jeremiah says, thus saith Yahuwah, what iniquity have your fathers found in me, that they are gone far from me and have walked after vanity, right? Worthless or empty things, and are become vain and became worthless. So I just want you to see that if you start to do this, you become what? To him. Okay, keep that in mind, because the objective, obviously he wants you, but if you reject him, what's the outcome of that?
I'll need you.
Okay, remember he says, you walk contrary to me, I'm going to walk contrary to you. All right. Tehillim Psalms 62:10 says, trust not in oppression or deceit, and become not vain, habel, worthless or empty. In robbery and riches increase, set not your heart upon them. Okay, he's going to give you what you need. Right? I know that we want to just be able to have all this money and relax and chill out at the Mediterranean Sea right there in the Tanya, Israel. Oh, I'm just thinking about myself. All right, so think about it though. It's really nice if the Father can just bless us because he gives you what you need. But if you're after the wealth, the riches, that's a problem. You have that more than you would want. You're going to have a problem. All right, so Job 15:2 says, now it says, should a wise man utter vain knowledge? That word there, vain, is now ruach, right? And fill his belly with the east wind. Okay, that's King James Version. ESV version says, should a wise man answer with windy knowledge and fill his belly with the east wind? Why windy or vain? Why not just say spirit?
Because it's empty knowledge. It's not, there's no point to it. It's like the wind. It's just empty. It's just
Okay, so when you look at it, first think about this. Ephesians 4:14 says that we henceforth be not more children tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine, but what? With the sleep of men or humans and cunning craftiness whereby they lie in wait to deceive. Right? So when it's talking about wind, like he says, how is wind? How does wind operate? You don't know where it's going, where it's coming. You know, that's how it operates. And this is how their words are, their knowledge is. You know, it said, run away from these type of people, right? Job 16:3 says, shall Ruach words, vain words, have an end? Or what emboldens you that you answer? Why would you want to answer? People have some stuff. I mean, I've seen it on Facebook and some other stuff. Some things I try my best to answer. Some things somehow it just goes to the bottom of the list. You know, because some things are just asking random questions that has nothing to do with anything. Like I'll give you an example. When is the Mashiach coming back? Let me call him and I'll get back with you. You see, I mean, in other words, some things, you know, they ask you, yeah, you know, something, you know, when is he going to restore Israel? But what does it say in Acts 1? He says, it's not for you to know. It's in whose hands? It's in the Father's hands. That's not for us to know that part. He wants us to concentrate on ourselves, getting ourselves together. Because why? If you think about when he's coming back, what are you trying to get right just before he get here? Right. Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah.
You know, it should be 2020. Well, no, 2019, 400-year captivity. This might be the year. Do you believe that too, brother? Yeah, I do. Okay, so now you're ready to get yourself together.
I'm gonna get right.
All right.
Right.
We'll see. I can't wait to see what happens. Anyway. So same thing. So windy words have an end, or what provokes you that you answer? Okay, windy words. All right, so in these texts, Ruach and Habel, in the sense of wind or breath, stands figuratively for worthlessness or vanity, mainly because the wind itself is fickle and vanishes without a trace, right? We're going to read Ecclesiastes 4 and 5, 11, 4 and 5. At the same time, anything in what? Substantial, unstable, or deceptive is carried off by the wind and hence resembles the wind. So 11, 4 and 5 says, he that observes the wind shall not sow, and he that regards the cloud shall not reap. As you know not what is the way of the spirit, nor how the bones do grow in the womb of her that is with child, even so you know not the work of Elohim who makes all. Okay? You don't know these things. So the only thing you can go by is what? That's it. That's all you can really go by. You can check it out, and it's going to tell you you're going to get an east wind, and you say, man, I thought it was east wind coming from the south. All right. So listen, here are some things. Things a Ruach can do within you, right? It can give you courage, right? Has anyone had a feeling inside? You feel a little something, you feel froggy. You ready to leap? No? Okay. Yeah. It can temper anger, right? You can have patience or impatience, make you bitter, create a yearning or a desire, vain, types of impulses, controlled or uncontrolled, or a will, if you understand what I'm saying here. So these are things that are a part of your spirit without any outside influence. In other words, that is just in you. Whatever is your surroundings might affect that. We're going to see that in just a minute. All right. So this is what's inside of you. So how we see that? So one's actions can or will enhance what is in them, something they could have inherited, something they invited, something or someone they were around. Okay. And again, this is very fundamental here. can cause this within inside of you. Okay. All right. So what is inside? So first, looking at the picture here, you got logic, intuition. You got the body, you got the soul. Within the soul, you're going to have your mind and your will, your emotions. And then it's linked with thoughts, intent, and heart. Spirit and heart starts to come together. And then you got the fear of Yah, understanding, wisdom, Yah, counsel, power, and knowledge. This is what you want inside yourself, right? In the belly, if you will. So your body absorbs a lot of things. As we grow, it creates your logic. Now think about the senses: see, smell, taste, touch, all that stuff, right? That, as you grow, you never say, man, I smelled that, or I heard that before. These things start to be memorized in your brain, okay? But anyway, the things you understand from a humanistic point of view, not to say what is right or wrong, if you will, but your experiences shape your mind, your will, and emotions. However you grew up, you know, whatever you learned, that's going to shape you. Okay? Is everyone with me so far? Number two, the body gives this information or feeds this to the brain, the processor. From there, it feeds your soul. The soul is the place that determines who you are and what you shall become. Again, this is a simple form, not an in-depth form. Okay, so your mind, will, emotions feeds the heart. Okay, so we move down to the heart. Your heart overlaps the spirit. The spirit overlaps the mind. They are one. So what you fight more often is the body or the flesh. Your experiences sometimes get in the way of what you desire to become. Okay, so but we have not put in the will of the Father in this equation. Otherwise, I haven't put the Father in anything yet. I'm just simply sharing this is us, right? So this last part, when you think about it, you always fight in the flesh. Right? You know, there's always something about that flesh. You know, Shaul Paul talks about, he sees another member that he's warring against inside of you, right? And they call it the law of sin, right? Not to be mistaken, because they keep thinking the law is talking about the Father's law. No, it's the law of sin. Sin is transgression of the law, right? So anyway, so here's the fight. You got your body, your soul, and your spirit in a simple form here. Okay, so where is the fight in all of this? Okay, inside of you, right? Inside of there, here's the fight, right? And then, so if you're having a war with your body or your flesh, you're having a war with spirit or spirits, you're having a war with your soul, things that you were raised with, something that you inherited. There's a lot of stuff that you're dealing with that you definitely need the Father's help, right? And so the whole point of having this here is to say that the Father is going to give you certain things. He's going to give you the understanding you need. He's going to give you the wisdom, the counsel, the power, the knowledge. But you only can get that from the Father, right? Some people blame the Father for what they've been through, right? But then you got to ask yourself, well, who put you in that environment? Are you saying the Father put you in that environment? Well, no, but he knew me. Well, hold on. You know, you got to understand that he's not going to command and make you a robot. You know, that's not his deal. He wants you, his desire for you to know him, right? Now he will protect you, right? You're still breathing, you're still living, you have a chance to get it right. For some people, other people that have some, let's say, disabilities or some disorders, you know, they have some challenges. And in their challenges, they got to understand that the Father is a just creator. Okay, so if some people have some mental issues, for an example, you know, understand that the Father knows that you have some issues and he will deal with those issues at a time. Okay, but anyway, the belly, we're not going to really get into the belly a little bit, but I'll give you a little something here. It says in Psalms 31:9, have mercy upon me, O Yahuwah, for I am in trouble. My eyes is consumed with grief, yea, my soul and my belly. What is up with the belly? Okay, right, you get that innermost part. That's what you got to read. You see a couple places in Mishnah, Proverbs about this. But, you know, take some time if you want to learn about your belly outside of food, and you'll see what happens. All right, so the spirit of Yahuwah and the spirit of mankind. All right, so Yahuwah brings life, right? So he gives a Ruach, a power emanating from him that vivifies or enables the recipient to perform a particular task, but the Ruach of Yahuwah does not stand against Yahuwah. Okay, its design is to lead and guide you to all truth, as you read in John or Yohanan 16:13. Okay, meaning the Ruach, the Father's Ruach. So man has one. He's placed something in man that animates him, causes him to think, causes him to grow, causes him to learn thoughts X, Y, and Z. This is the man part, right? But when you ask for the Ruach, things begin to change in your life. You start to see things that you might inherited or things that you have from being around somebody, whatever you experience. You start reading about the Father. The Father's Ruach is going to help you in your Ruach, right? But they can't be bumping heads. You can't be challenging his Ruach with your Ruach, okay? Well, Father, I know it says, but right now this is what I want, and I want to put your name on it. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Ruach, for telling me that. No, I didn't tell you that. You told the Father or his Spirit X, Y, and Z, and that's not how that works. Okay? So sometimes we confuse our Ruach with his Ruach. Okay? So some people use the word to do that, meaning they'll read something and then they'll give you a whole dissertation or thesis on what they got out of it. And it's like, I didn't read that. And the answer to them is, well, you don't have his Ruach. Okay, but anyway, we'll keep going.
His Ruach is not going to contradict his word.
It'll never. The Father's word, and put it like this: the Father, the Son, the Spirit, the Ruach, all of them operate as one, right? So one is not going to tell you to do this, and the other one say this. Remember, Mashiach said, I pray that they be one as we are one, right? He says, I'm going to leave and I'm going to send you a comforter, and he's going to bear witness of the truth. It's going to speak of him, and it's going to lead God to all truth of the Father. So in other words, they all work as one. All right, so Yeshayahu Isaiah 30 verse 1 says, woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahuwah, that takes counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my Ruach, my Spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Okay? 40 verse 13 says, who has directed the Spirit of Yahuwah, or being his counselor has taught him? Who is that? Okay? With whom took he counsel, and who instructed him and taught him in the path of judgment, and taught him knowledge and showed to him the ways of understanding? Who did that? So again, you can't make yours do that. Okay? It's not possible. When John 4 says, beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirit. Will they be of what? How do you know they're going to be of Elohim, right? Because many false prophets are gone out into the world. So it says try the spirit. Let me try the spirit, right? Well, let's look. Let's define this word try, right? What does it say? Okay, so to kamidezo, and it means to test, to prove, discern, examine it. Just don't let someone tell you something you don't have no address, right? Or they can't prove it to you, they can't show it to you. Don't start believing it. Well, this guy said such and such. All right, great. What address did he give you? I'll get back with you on that. Okay, well, I'm going to divorce that until you give me something that I can use, right? Not to say it's right or wrong. I'm most simply stating that this is how you're going to test something or try something. All right, our soul must be parallel to his Ruach. 26:8 says, yea, in the way of your judgment, O Yahuwah, have we waited for you. The desire of our soul is to your name and the remembrance of you. With my soul have I desired you in the night. Yea, with my spirit within me will I seek you early. So again, think about my spirit within me. Your spirit has to have a desire, okay, to seek after the Father. For when your judgments are in the earth, inhabitants of the world will learn righteousness. They're going to learn what?
Righteousness.
Okay, just keep that in mind. So the word here, name, right? So we all know what the word name means: renown, authority, honor. This is what he's asking for you to do in his name. This is the full version or the shoresh or the root of the word, to commit to him, work for him, work for what, in other words, if he's told us what to do, this is our dedication to him. We have to submit and commit and turn to do his works. And of course, there's a reward for those things. The or a spirit in either the midst of within. Okay. So Isaiah Yeshayahu 63:9 says, in all their affliction, he was afflicted, and the Moloch of the messenger coming of the angel of his presence saved them. In his love and in his pity, he redeemed them, and he bare them and carried them all the days of old. But they rebelled and vexed his set apart Ruach, or set apart spirit. Therefore, he was turned to be their enemy, and he fought against them. Then he remembered the days of old, and Musha, Moses, and his people, saying, where is he that brought them up out of the sea within the shepherd of his flock? Where is he that put his set apart spirit within him? Where's that person at? All right, of course, talking about Moses. Hosea 5:4 says, they will not frame their doings to turn unto their Elohim, for the spirit of whoredom is in the midst of them, and they have not known Yahuwah. Okay, so again, think about what's in you, right? You challenging yourself to figure out, hey, Father, am I meeting your standard, if you will? You know, if I'm not meeting your standard, then I must change so that I can do these things. Almost finished here. So Psalms 51, 10, 13, and verse 17 says, create in me a clean heart, Elohim, and renew a right spirit or Ruach within me. Cast me not away from your presence, and take not your Ruach, your set apart Ruach from me. Restore in me the joy of your salvation. Uphold me with your free Ruach. It's free. You don't have to pay no tithes, no offerings to get his spirit. It's free. All right. Then will I teach transgressors your ways, and sinners shall be converted unto you. And you jump down verse 17. It says, sacrifice of a what? Broken Ruach, a broken spirit, and a contrite heart. O Elohim, you will not despise. What's a broken spirit? No one had one of those? Okay, no worries. I know you're tired. Okay, what is broken spirit? What is a contrite heart? All right, so the first one for broken is someone that is, they're hurt. Someone that's been broken down. Someone that's, you know, they're in tears. They've been broken, right? And no one's ever been in that level? Okay, all right. Contrite is someone that is, listen, to collapse physically or mentally. Okay.
Is that like a mental breakdown?
Yeah, they just break down. They've had enough. I mean, they have a mental breakdown, physical breakdown. I mean, they're done. Okay. So since no one's been there, I can keep going, right? All right, no problem. All right. Got a couple more slides left. It says 1 Kings 8, 38, 39 says, what prayer and supplication whatsoever be made by any man or by all people, Israel shall, which shall know every man that plague of his own heart, and spreads forth his hands towards this house. Now listen to 39 says, then hear you in heaven, your dwelling place, and forgive and do and give to every man according to his ways, whose heart you know. Okay, for you even only know the hearts of all the children of men. What does it mean, whose heart you know?
The intimate.
Okay.
Know you.
Okay. So we see in this part here, he's wanting them, you know, to forgive and help out in his ways. But the only way this is going to happen is whose heart you know, right? So let's see how we.
Abraham.
Right. So we're going to see how this happens really fast. Remember this? Yeshayahu Isaiah 51:7. Hearken unto me, you that know righteousness, the people in whose heart is my law. Okay. Whose heart you know. And he knows you then, right? Fear you not the reproach of men, neither be you afraid of their rivaling. Right? Let's see what the Mashiach had to say. So it says, not everyone that says unto me, Adon, Adon, or Master, Master, commonly called Lord, Lord, in King James, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that does the will of my Father, which is in Shamayim or heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Adon, Adon, or Master, Master, or Lord, Lord, as commonly said, have we not prophesied in your name? And in your name have cast out devils, and in your name done many wonderful works. And when he said, and then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you that work iniquity. So you ask yourself, hey, if I'm doing all these great things, why don't you know me? And he says, because of iniquity, anomia in the Greek means lawlessness. Those that decided to, you can do all of these things, but if you still don't want to do the will of the Father, I don't know you. Right? So how do we know this? What is the will of the Father? Psalms 48. David says, I delight to do your will. Oh, Elohim, yea, your law is within my heart. You see how that works? So they all work together for the good. And lastly, here it says, he that, this is all, Mishlei says, he that is slow to anger is better than the mighty. And he that rules his spirit than he that takes a city. Okay? So if you can do that, you're going to be all right. A fool utters all his mind. Okay? But a wise man keeps in till afterwards. He got to keep in, he got to process, he has to think. He's not ready to just lash out and do things. 1727, he that has knowledge spares his words, and a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. Okay? Ezekiel 3:14, just give you an example of what he went through. He says, so the Spirit lifted me up and took me away, and I went in what? Bitterness in where? In the heat of my spirit. But the hand of Yahuwah was strong upon me. So think about it. If, he knew what Israel was doing, he was hot to see that after the Father did all of this, and the Father's going to put me over here to see this here, but the Father was with him. All right. Yes, Shalot means any questions, obviously pertaining to the lesson. Hello? Everyone's good?
No, I have a question.
You good there? Okay.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
So you want me to turn him up?
Hey, yeah. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I had a question on the Ruach a little bit more. So I might just need to chew through it a little bit more, but it seems like the flesh is kind of like our senses, like the other slide you had with the picture of the body, and you had the flesh going down into the soul, going down into the spirit. Can you elaborate just a little bit more on what the spirit does? Because of our emotions and our thoughts come from the soul, which comes from this almost like a gateway called the flesh.
Okay, so
I still don't understand quite what the spirit is.
Right, so that's why I was sharing. It's in its simplest form. There's a lot more to the body. You still have a neshama. You still have kai. There are multiple parts that make up mankind. So from its simplest form, for example, with the body, we're not specifically talking about the body that we're looking at. We're talking about the body, meaning the senses of the body. And the senses of the body feeds. Everything is fed to a source, and we call that the brain or the processor. From there, it starts to move down into your soul. So in other words, remember, what's being judged is going to be your soul. Remember, the spirit returns back to the Father, right? According to Ecclesiastes. But the soul, on the other hand, is set up for judgment. So what feeds the soul is things such as your senses, what you see, what you hear, what you taste, what you smell. That goes inside your flesh, if you will. And then not only that, the spirit, your spirit itself, actually does give you intellect. It gives you thought. and everything is feeding the soul. So if I say, for an example, the adversary wants your soul, the Father wants your soul. Everybody's after this soul. The only difference is the Father wants you to give it to him, and the adversary wants to take it, right? And so so what I'm saying is that within this, the spirit, there's a lot more that we could talk about that the spirit does. Just like neshama or the nefesh, as word for soul there, what does that do? That's also, it says it's an appetite, meaning it loves to eat. Whatever you want to give your soul, it will eat it. You know, that's how that realistically works. So as I say, it's really a simple form that I gave. We went over a little bit more in depth in the Bereshit series and the Genesis series, if you want to kind of see all the names of what we're made of and how they actually work.
Perfect. Okay, great. I was going to ask for a reference that I can go study, and I'll start there.
Oh, no,
So that-
problem. Okay. All right, anyone else?
So when somebody is actually making the decision to do something, whether to change their appetite or something like that, would that be the nefesh? Would that be the ruach? What part would actually be the part making the decision?
So for an example, your mind realistically will do that. So whatever your eyes see, right? Whatever you see, and you now got to process what you see, right? So we gave an example, for example, back in Bereshit or Genesis, where Eve, she saw the fruit, and what did she see? To make you wise, and so she started seeing, she started processing this. So when she starts thinking, where's this thinking happening? In the process area, right? But a lot of our stuff that we process, we have the ability to stop it there. We don't have to act out the sin, right? We can stop, we can think of certain things, but we also have the ability to stop it. But if we don't, then it moves just like digesting stuff. It goes to the next process. The next process of that thing is going down into your soul, because now your soul is going to absorb this and it's going to be a part of you. Like the tree of knowledge of good and evil, right? When they had of the knowledge of good and evil, notice you don't read about the knowledge of good and evil, the tree of knowledge of good and evil no more. The only thing you read now is the tree of life. I haven't partaken of that yet. So again, it becomes that appetite within the soul. Now, from the soul, the spirit can enhance that, be it good or bad. Okay? So it's going to drive you a certain way. You got the Father spirit, your spirit.
Spirit is basically like character.
Right.
Okay.
That yours.
Well, my character.
Right. And then the adversary has his. He said, you're of your father, the devil, because he was a liar from the beginning, meaning there's some things that he may tell you that is partially true, partially false. But that's how he works. He makes it lukewarm. That way, because if it's totally wrong, you'll know it. But if it's somewhat right, or you like, that makes sense, I can see that. Now you start to challenge something, right? Then you have, from that level, it starts to be that. But if you have the Father's word and his spirit, that's where it helps you with your decision, the final decision. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so rightly divide the word of truth, you'll be fine. All right, any other questions? Hello, we're good. Hallelujah. All right, we just ready to eat? Let me know. All right, if our hearts and minds clear, we'll go ahead and close out, and we'll have Vidar close us out if you don't mind. And I'll turn off my mic. They said that mic works up top. Okay, check.
Thank you.
Oh, anytime. That's what I'm here for.
Ruach Atah do a Melech Kava. Total revive you, Lord, for the word that we heard today. Total revive, Father, for just teaching us and showing us things that we need to work on so that we can become more and more like your son, the Mashiach. We thank you, Father, for this opportunity to bringing us here to serve you and to have this covenant that we've made with you. We just ask you now, Father, that you continue to be with our Moreh, continue to give him wisdom and sound teaching that he can teach us so that we can continue to grow in the things of Mashiach, so that we can be a light in the midst of darkness, so that we can take back what we've learned and apply it to our lives and go back to our places, back to the school and back to the workplaces, the malls, and so that we can be able to confidently share this truth with everyone that you give us the unction to share this truth with. We love you today and we thank you. We thank you for your son, Yahushua Mashiach, who bled and died for us and is now sitting at the right hand of the Father. Now we ask now, Father, that you bless the food that we're about to receive, that we nourish our body, take out any impurities, anything that may cause hurt, harm, or danger to us. We declare and decree this in Yahushua Mashiach's name. And the people of Yah said, Amen and Amen. Yeah.
All right. All right, now we can really break bread.
Yeah.
Good pie. That's what I'm talking about. You're gonna make it happen.
There's 8 of us brothers.
Okay.